Hey guys, Merv here, and I'm bringing you a quick recap of Blizzcon and some of the major announcements that happened. Right off the bat, I'd like to get Hearthstone out of the way, since it's just a quick little announcement, but it's something to talk about. It's coming to iPad, and the collection of your cards will be shared across all platforms, so that's pretty nice. And now that we have that small announcement out of the way, we're going to move along to the big three announcements, which was the World of Warcraft expansion, more details on the Diablo expansion, as well as Heroes of the Storm, Blizzard's new Dota game. Feel free to click the annotations on the video to skip to whatever announcement you would like to hear about if you don't want to hear about a particular subject. And with that being said, I'm just going to move right along to the World of Warcraft expansion, because I feel like that's what we're mostly here for. That's the biggest announcement, at least in my opinion. Now I'll give you a quick overview of what Warlords of Draenor basically does. So what's happening is it's adding a new world called Draenor, and that world will have 7 zones. It is also adding the ability to build and upgrade your own garrison, as well as new character models. The level cap is raised to 100. There will be a new world PvP zone, and you're also allowed to make a free level 90 instantly to play the content right away, and that character will be geared, so you don't have to worry about any of that. You can just, bam, instant level 90 and you're playing. So now let's get into a little more detail on this. For the World of Draenor, basically what it is it's a remade Outlands. But they really want to emphasize that it's rebuilt and it's not just a reskin. And as you can see from the screenshots, it looks really nice and it's not the same. On top of that, there will be more story-driven questing zones to make that questing experience a little more engaging. And if you guys want an example of this, you should look at the Death Knight starting area, as that's what it's going to essentially be like. Now with this more story-driven quest zones that they're providing us with, there is still going to be, of course, the side missions and side quests and all that stuff that you can do. However, it's not a big deal. You can ignore it if you'd like. You can just do entirely the story and experience just that, and you will level up just fine, throwing in some dungeons here and there. Now with the new expansion comes, of course, new creatures and all that good stuff. The most noteworthy one, in my opinion, was the Chimera, which is pretty cool. I loved that in Warcraft 3. But other than that, just some interesting little tidbits here. The new Horde capital city will be named Bladespire Fortress, and the Alliance capital city, if I'm pronouncing this right, will be Karabor. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Now for dungeons and raids, we will have 6 new 5-man dungeons and a revamped version of Blackrock's Spire, as well as 2 new raids, and all of this will be available right at launch. The raids also will have a mythic raid difficulty, which is a brand new difficulty, of course. Challenge mode dungeons will also provide transmogrifiable weapons and other unique rewards. And there will be a wide variety of scenarios along with heroics, and again, all of this content will be available right at launch. As for PvP, talking about the new world PvP zone, and that will be located in the center of Draenor, and it will be seamlessly instanced. And the reason they decided to make it seamlessly instanced was to provide a more balanced PvP experience, where you fight for control over strategic fortresses. Aside from the world PvP zone, there will be several UI improvements that provide better info to the player on what's happening, and that will include battlegrounds, rated battlegrounds, and arenas. It'll go across all 3 of those. But here is basically the meat and potatoes of this whole expansion, this brand new feature they're adding, which is the garrison system. And now the garrison system is essentially player housing. You could look at it like that. And it grows over 3 tiers of upgrades. And so how this works is you build and upgrade your base in an RTS style, and you slowly add more buildings, and you can upgrade, let's say, like a blacksmith, for instance. And you can obtain followers as well that can be assigned to tasks and missions. And followers on tasks can earn you epic loot items. These followers on tasks go about their business over a period of time, let's say a few days or possibly a week. And after they are done, they come back and they have loot for you. And it could be epic items etc. that it goes on. So that's pretty neat. Your base will also provide profession benefits, and your followers can be assigned to buildings to obtain plans and craft recipes. So this helps a lot with crafting, especially for someone such as myself. I always wanted to craft ever since the game came out, but I can't be bothered to take the time to level it up and farm all the materials. And so this is it sounds like it provides a nice alternative to that. You just build up your followers and have at it. Now, this whole garrison system hasn't necessarily just been thrown in completely randomly just for the sake of having this feature. It will be deeply rooted into the storyline, and the outcome of your garrison will be up to the player entirely. So it sounds like this is quite the nice feature. It's not the Warcraft 4 that we're all looking for, but it's something, right? It's an alternative. It's neat. It's going to be fun to check out. It's just like the pet system, the whole Pokemon battle stuff. That's just an alternative fun thing to do. This seems to be, of course, more heavily rooted into the game, and there's a lot more purpose behind it. But I'm really looking forward to checking it out. And I will be making videos as soon as I can about this new expansion, and I will cover as much content as possible to provide you guys with enough information to see how you feel about this expansion exactly, and just so you can see exactly how it works. But that pretty much wraps up the major announcements for that new expansion, and we're going to move right along to Diablo 3. And we're going to talk about the new expansion, Reaper of Souls. They released a little more information about this. And so now, they mentioned that you have a choice of campaign mode and adventure mode, and you are free to swap between modes at will. Campaign mode is going to allow players to play through the story with all quests and cutscenes, and it's just basically your standard Diablo experience right now. It's not much different. It's just the campaign, right? It's so you can experience the story. And then there's the adventure mode, and adventure mode strips down all the story elements, and it unlocks every waypoint so you can adventure the game freely. And in adventure mode, there's 2 new features added, called bounties and Nephilim rifts. And I'll give you guys a description of both of those right now. So bounties are there to add direction and meaning to the adventure mode. They provide random objectives such as slaying, boss killing, dungeon clearing, and event completion. Now these bounties aren't just set quests that you complete and are done with. It is more like a daily mission system. Although it's not daily, it's more so every single time you enter the game, you are given a new set of bounties to complete. And on completing these bounties, you'll be rewarded with experience and gold, as well as Rift Keystones. And these Rift Keystones will grant you access to the Nephilim Rifts. Which brings us on to the next feature, Nephilim Rifts, which are randomized dungeons that will take about 15 minutes to complete each. And these dungeons can be up to 10 levels deep, which is also randomized. These dungeons will provide you with new shrines, such as invulnerability, move speed, and lightning shield. And these shrines are specifically balanced for the rifts, right? You won't find these out in the regular world. These are only going to be in the Nephilim rifts. And that right there is what was talked about for Diablo 3. It wasn't a lot of information, but it's something, and it's starting to look like a really nice expansion, which is good news because Diablo 3 just tanked really fast, and I would absolutely love to play it. Like, still to this day, right now, I would love to log on and play Diablo 3, but there's nothing motivating me to do so. There's no content there other than the prestige levels? And that's just like thrown in there and it's like, hey, come on guys, keep playing. That's nothing. What does that really add, you know? So there's not a lot of motivation for me to play right now. And this expansion sounds like it's really shaping up to be exactly what we wanted from Diablo 3. Now for Heroes of the Storm. This is Blizzard's new Dota game, which is a mashup of all their current games out there, like StarCraft, Warcraft, Diablo, you know. Now Heroes of the Storm is going to have 4 hero types. You're going to have the Assassin, the Warrior, Support, and Specialist. To give you a quick little description of what each is, which, you know, you should probably be able to figure out just from the titles alone. But anyways, the Assassin is a heavy damage dealer with weak defense. So you kind of want to pick and choose your targets, right, and pick people off. The Warrior is the tank of the game, who just gets right in the fight. And you have your support, which provides assistance with abilities like healing and buffs, etc. And the specialist, which I'm not 100% sure what they mean by this, but it'll provide a more specific role to be thrown into the team, providing different strengths. So I guess that class is in there just to add a little more variety and interest to the game. There will also be a mastery system and heroic abilities, and even mounts, actually. I guess you can ride mounts around the game and get around the map quicker. Now, speaking of maps, they're trying to make each map unique and provide different strategies for each of them. Now, for example, there's a pirate captain that can be paid off to fire cannons at the enemy team, or an underground area where you can collect bones to summon a golem. Those are just two examples for you guys on how the different maps will kind of function a little different. Now, instead of towers for this game, such as League of Legends and all the others, there will be towns. These towns will have gates for the enemy team to break down to be able to enter in the first place. Being inside these towns will provide you with benefits as well, such as healing and mana fountains. But another interesting twist that they're adding to this game is watchtowers, which simply just provides you with more vision of the area, similar to StarCraft 2. And the last thing I have to talk about here is mercenary camps. And the mercenary camps can be swayed to fight for your team and help defeat your enemies. I think the fact that they added the mercenary camps is a really nice touch. The mercenary camps and the towns are both really nice features added. I'm really looking forward to that change of pace from just having one tower to guard, like in League of Legends. It's a little more interesting to have a town to go into. And the mercenary camps was just, that might be the coolest part, in my opinion, to be honest with you, just because it throws me back to Warcraft 3 so much, and how you would hire mercenaries at the camps. But anyways, let me know in the comments below how you guys feel about all these announcements, what you're looking forward to the most. Are you looking forward to any of it? Maybe you're not. Maybe you don't have much of an interest in Blizzard's games anymore. If that's the case, I'm not sure why you're watching this video. But hey, now I'll leave some links down in the description below, so you guys can click on those and check out more information on these and get really in depth. I just wanted to talk about some key points of each announcement, the major stuff. And I'll let you guys read up on more of it if you choose to do so. Also, I just wanted to say I'll be trying my best to bring you guys some Heroes of the Storm gameplay as soon as possible, as well as the new World of Warcraft expansion, where with Warcraft I'll get really in depth and I'll level from 90 to 100 and I'll show you guys the story, how it kind of works, and you can watch as much of it as you want, and you guys can kind of gauge and see how you feel about this expansion. But that's all the information I have for you guys today. So feel free to comment, rate, and subscribe at your leisure. And I look forward to hearing from all of you. Thanks for watching.